from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 10 starts now.
Residents were off to the races, each step hoping to gain momentum for awareness and money for a local center that serves children with autism.
We have some owls right now, we have ducks and geese, we have lots of squirrels.
A local wildlife center receives hundreds of injured or abandoned baby animals. Today, they celebrated them with the community. And a rally in D.C. held just days after President Biden called on Congress to pass a sweeping immigration reform. Those in attendance say it's way past due. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. 2 people are taken to the hospital as police investigate a shooting on the city's east side. It happened on East Lawn Drive off of East State Street. 2 male victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Details are limited right now, but as we find out more, we'll update you at mystateline.com. And Rockford police are also investigating a crash on the city's west side. Police are asking residents to avoid West State and Bayless Avenue as they continue their investigation. They didn't share further details, but like I mentioned before, once we know more, we will update you at mystateline.com. Wisconsin police find 1 person dead in a car after a crash. It was a single vehicle crash that happened around 2:40 this morning. Janesville police say the driver was found unresponsive at the intersection of Court Street and Atwood Avenue. After further investigation, police say the driver missed a curve and crashed into a tree. Speed was a contributing factor to the crash. The driver's identity isn't being released at this time. A 16-year-old is behind bars after police say the suspect accidentally shot a friend. Janesville police were called to Mercy Hospital around 12:30 Friday for a teenager suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim is expected to be okay, and after further investigation, police found out that the shooting happened in a home on Lynn Street. That's east of Center Avenue. Police say the 16-year-old suspect was holding a handgun when it went off. The suspect faces multiple charges. As runners hit the pavement, a local center for kids with special needs will benefit. Ari Bruckman shares more as when runners took their marks.
We're just happy to be back. We're raising funds for the Superhero Center for Autism and our programs for our kiddos.
The Superhero Center for Autism held their 5th annual Superhero Sprint 5K at Belvedere Park. President of the Superhero Center for Autism, Jamie Dornick, started the center 6 years ago.
My son Brody has autism. He's 8 now, and I just wanted to make sure that there was a place to help families and other kiddos with special needs. So I came up with the idea of the community center, and we have an event like this every year just to raise funds for our center.
This is Dustin and Blake Smith's 3rd time running in the race. Dustin tells me it's events like these that made him want to work for the center.
There's no judgment. You know, if a kid's having a hard time, the parents understand that because the people that are there are the people that live through it. So it really just brought together the community and made a community even for this area for people with autism, people with disabilities.
With the pandemic, Dornick was worried about the turnout at first, but was thrilled when she saw all of the people who came out.
Thankfully it's sunny. 2 years ago when we did it, it was snowing. So we got a bunch of people who actually registered the day up too. So it's been really nice.
When I asked 8-year-old Blake Smith what he thought about running in the race, without hesitation, he told me,
"It's pretty cool."
For your home team, I'm Ari Bruckman.
Illinois health officials report over 2,000 additional COVID cases today, including 32 more deaths. 2 of those deaths come from the state line. The rolling statewide positivity rate sits above 4%. Region 1's positivity rate is up to 5.3%. For over a week, Region 1 hospitals have either stayed the same rate or decreased the amount of patients battling the virus. Winnebago County sits under 7%, while Stevenson dropped below 4%. Boone County is the highest, just above 7%, while Lee and Carroll counties tie for the lowest. Over 9.3 million vaccines have been administered statewide. Yesterday, over 88,000 people rolled up their sleeve for a dose. The weekly rolling average of shots administered daily sits at 87,000. Tomorrow, no appointment is needed for shots at the Winnebago County vaccination site on Sandy Hollow Road. More details can be found on our website, mystateline.com. A local animal center is celebrating their newest members with a baby shower. Hoo Haven receives hundreds of injured or abandoned baby birds, fawns, squirrels, bunnies, and more each year. So today they decided to celebrate with a wildlife baby shower. The goal is to help residents meet their newest additions and raise money to help take care of them.
The open house baby shower is just designed to reintroduce people to the community, to the animals, and remind them that we're out here with COVID. You know, it's hard for people to remember what's going on around and stuff, so we're getting people back out here.
With the new animals coming in, the center says any donations from the community will be appreciated. We'll have a link to help in this article at mystateline.com. The Rockford area Habitat for Humanity breaks ground on their 2021 construction season. Rachel Perry was there as they got started on 2 of their homes.
Actually standing outside getting my car looked at. So my mechanic seen me break down and he's like, it's gonna be okay, thinking I'm crying about the car.
That was the moment Sheree Howard was told her Habitat for Humanity housing application was chosen. After COVID-19 delayed the building process, she was finally able to watch today as volunteers assembled her soon-to-be home. A home not only for her, but her 4 kids under the age of 10.
They are so excited. The biggest thing they are excited about is I told them that we will get a dog.
Howard's kids aren't the only ones excited to move. Devonna Fote's daughter, Destiny Stamp, is already designing her bedroom. She says painting it sea green and pink is the plan.
Like going through stuff and knowing that like we can just come somewhere and know like we don't got to worry about nothing happening over here.
Executive Director of the Rockford area Habitat for Humanity, Carrie Acevedo, says they look for families who have a need for housing and are willing to get their hands dirty too.
By partnership, we mean coming out and helping build houses, take financial classes, do things to, better themselves in our community.
Rockford Area Habitat for Humanity Board of Director President Peter Schmaling says his favorite part of the process is actually days like today.
Watching these houses come together wall by wall with all volunteer labor and watching the homeowners get right in there with all the volunteers and watch your house come to life.
And as you can see, the wind has not stopped them. The volunteers behind me are working on one of the 2 homes being built today. When finished, they will move on to the rest of the construction, adding a total of 6 new homes to the neighborhood.
It's made possible by 2 groups of people, our volunteers, the people who choose to come out and give of their time and talent, and our donors.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Rachel Perry.
After President Biden called on Congress to pass a sweeping immigration reform, the group rallied in D.C. saying it's way past due.
And we topped down in the upper 80s today, really close to our record high. We'll see 80s return as we head into Sunday as well. We'll have more details on that coming up in the forecast.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Alexis Carpello, David Greenberg, and meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Today, hundreds of immigrants and advocates rallied outside the White House. They're calling on the Biden administration and Congress to take more aggressive steps to ensure a path to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants currently living in the U.S. Recall Martin is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Saturday, immigrants from across the country took to the streets of D.C., demanding President Biden and Congress reform the immigration system.
And we need you to act now. No more deportations, no more family separations. You need to pass the pathway to citizenship for all.
Esther Junn, who traveled from Houston, Texas, is one of more than 3 million DACA recipients.
I found out when I was in middle school that I was undocumented, and that really changed my life.
She says President Biden's first 100 days haven't brought enough change.
Every day families are getting separated, and I'm still undocumented.
It's been a roller coaster.
Misael Garcia, also a dreamer, says with President Biden now calling on Congress to uphold the DACA program, he hopes larger reforms follow.
Gotta keep putting the pressure.
People here tell me immigrants played an essential role on the front lines of the pandemic. They say passing immigration reform is the right way to say thank you.
There's definitely an opportunity to get it done, and we need the courage.
Democrats and Republicans remain split over immigration policy, but Illinois Democratic Senator Dick Durbin says negotiations are progressing.
There is room for agreement, but all seem to agree that we need to start with the current challenges we face on our southern border. We are being overwhelmed.
Durbin says any final bipartisan immigration bill will include a path to citizenship for some immigrants, including dreamers.
We have a chance for the first time in 20 years to come up with meaningful immigration change and reform.
In Washington, I'm Raquel Martin.
Coming up later in sports, there's 259 names called in the NFL draft, and you may recognize one name because he's from the State Line area. Plus, we start off the month of May with plenty of sunshine, warm weather, and wind. And coming up next, Joey Marino will let you know if that will stick with us in his full first warn weather forecast. You're watching Eyewitness News at 10.
Now, your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Joey Marino.
And we're looking at a quiet night so far as we take a live look outside on our SkyTrack camera over downtown Rockford. We had a bit of a wind during the afternoon, and that got temperatures up into the upper 80s, our warmest day so far in 2021. We've dropped down into the upper 70s in Rockford, but there are spots now dropping into the low 70s. 71 in Rochelle, 71 in Freeport, 72 out in Savannah, right now 74 in Monroe, and 73 in Janesville. Winds still a little breezy out there. You can see that we have winds up to about 25, even upwards of 30 miles per hour. Still a little breezy for most spots, but thankfully not as windy as what we had during the afternoon, where peak wind gusts got up to around 56 miles per hour here in Rockford. Now, pretty quiet overall. You can see that we do have a couple of showers passing to our north near Madison and Milwaukee, but we have a few passing clouds here. Nothing really to worry about if you're heading out this evening, but we have quiet weather thanks to this high pressure system that's down to our southeast, but it also contributed to the gusty winds that we saw this afternoon because the pressure in between these two systems were really tight. That really got those winds going. Like I said, we had a couple of spots over 50 mile per hour wind gusts, but now that we're seeing this high pressure system keep us dry tonight, we'll have a system come in by the evening hours tomorrow and into Monday. That's going to bring us our next rain chances. So let's take a look at all that using Futurecast. You can see that once we get into tomorrow morning, we're still going to hold on to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures are going to only drop down to the low 60s. Last time we had a morning in the low 60s, we got into the upper 80s. That will be the case tomorrow, except we'll be a couple of degrees cooler with highs in the low 80s. We'll see partly to mostly sunny skies throughout much of the day, then see cloud cover increase as we head into tomorrow night. There could be an isolated thunderstorm or two during Sunday evening, but the better chances for rain do hold off until Monday. You can see rain with the warm front off towards the north, getting closer towards the state line. We'll have a chance for a couple of scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms as we head into Monday. A low pressure tracking to our southeast as well will help contribute to that, bringing us that chance for a few isolated thunderstorms throughout the day on Monday. But only 1 month so far this year has been above average with rainfall, and that's been January. So far, we've been below average for February, March, and April, and that's only led to 6 inches of rainfall. Now we're sitting about 2.5 inches below the average, but we're going to see some rainfall as we head into Monday, especially late Sunday into Monday. Got a chance for a couple of isolated thunderstorms late in the evening Sunday and then stretching into tomorrow night. Then rain becomes a little more widespread as we head into Monday afternoon, continuing to keep a chance for a couple of showers as we head into Tuesday. So got a couple of rain chances as we head into the start of next week, and it's definitely going to be needed since we've seen such a drought here so far this spring, remaining 2.5 inches below average for the year. Partly cloudy skies tonight. It'll be a windy evening, then breezy for much of the night. That's going to get us into the low 60s by tomorrow morning. 84 for a high. We have a very mild start, increasing clouds and a chance for a few isolated thunderstorms as we head into the late day hours into tomorrow night. Temperatures do drop into the low 70s for Monday. Best chance for rain throughout the next 7 days will be Monday, keeping a chance for a few showers on Tuesday. Temperatures back in the 60s, but we have one more day, and that's tomorrow in the 80s, and we get a little bit of sunshine with those 80s as well. Back to you, Alexis.
All right, thanks, Joey. David Greenberg's in next with sports. The NFL draft concluded this afternoon. David has the details on the Bears and Packers' final selections. Plus, the drama between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers management continues to unfold as the reigning MVP spends the day at the track.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
Today was the final day of the NFL draft from Cleveland, Ohio, rounds 4 through 7. There was one local athlete who was lucky enough to hear his name called. Nick Neiman, a linebacker from Iowa and a Sycamore Spartan alum. Nick was taken 185th overall by the Chargers. He has deep football ties as his brother Ben plays for the Chiefs and his father Jay is an assistant at Iowa and a former NIU coach. Another player from the state line, Robert Jones, and a Rockford East grad, went undrafted but signed in free agency with the Miami Dolphins. Congratulations to Nick and Robert on this exciting day for both of them. What a first couple days it was for the Bears through rounds 1 and 2. Today they had 5 more selections to make in the final 4 rounds. 1 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and 1 in the 7th. So let's take a look at how they did in those picks. In the 5th, they picked Larry Barham, an offensive lineman out of Missouri. He actually trained with Justin Fields in the offseason, so not super surprising with this pick here. Then they had 3 picks in the 6th round. Started off with Khalil Herbert, a running back out of Virginia Tech. Went with Daz Newsome, a receiver out of North Carolina. And then their final pick of the 6th round, they went with Thomas Graham Jr. Then they also picked Kairis Tonga, a defensive tackle out of BYU, in the 7th round. The Packers had 6 picks to make in the final 4 rounds. In the 4th, they went with Royce Newman, an offensive lineman. They went with TJ Slayton, a defensive tackle, and Shamar Jean-Charles, a defensive back out of Appalachian State. They had 2 picks in the 6th and 1 in the 7th. They started off with Cole Van Lanen, an offensive lineman out of the University of Wisconsin, so he'll stay in the Badger State and look to make that Green Bay Packer team. Then they went with Isaiah McDuffie, a linebacker out of Boston College, and Kylan Hill, a running back out of Mississippi State. But while everything was going on with the draft, there's been no bigger news out of Green Bay than the ongoing situation with Aaron Rodgers. The initial reports came out right before the first round of the draft that Rodgers had no plans to return to the team. Then they said Rodgers would retire if he was unhappy with the team's direction. And now today, the update is that Rodgers said he's not coming back unless general manager Brian Gutekunst is fired. Yes, fired. On a day like today, if there's one place Rodgers can go and escape the ongoing drama, it's the Kentucky Derby, and that's exactly what he did. You can see there he's joined by former Packer players and his wife, fiancée Shailene Woodley. He spoke with Mike Tirico, told him that he loves Green Bay. He's disappointed the news did come out, but he did confirm there was a difference of opinion between management and the reigning MVP. So let's check out how the 147th running of the Kentucky Derby went today. Down the final stretch, it was Medina Spirit, trained by the legendary Bob Baffert, in the lead just about the entire race and pushing hard. And Medina Spirit gives Baffert his 7th Kentucky Derby victory, more than any other trainer in the history of the sport. He cashes in at 12-1 odds. Here's something we haven't seen in more than a year. Fans at the BMO watching an Ice Hogs game. They liked what they saw tonight with the Grand Rapids Griffins in town. First period, Brandon Peary in the right circle scores on the power play. His 6th goal of the season made it 1-0 Ice Hogs. In the second period, Alec Regula blasts his 7th goal of the season, putting the Ice Hogs up 3-0. The Griffins did come back with a pair of goals, but the Ice Hogs take this one 3-2, making them 1-0 with fans in the stands. The tight leaderboard for the men at the Gold Medal Classic at Prairie View Golf Club in Byron, the first round. Garrett Ralston is the leader at 3 over, followed by a 3-way tie at 5 over. For the women, it's going to be Hee-Chong Doffelmeyer or Megan Thiravong tomorrow. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
And taking a look at our First Warn Interactive Radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Quiet tonight. We have one more day in the 80s before we cool back down. Back to you, Alexis.
Thanks for making us your home team. Have a great night.